If I were to ask you some of the most mechanically talented players in Counter-Strike, you'd probably list off a few names like Robs, maybe even Zywoo, maybe Simple if you were watching CSGO. But not a lot of people think of Bit right away, and the reason they don't think of Bit is because he's not a very flashy player, but if you look at every event that he plays, he's consistently at the top of the scoreboard, and not only that, he also has one of the highest headshot percentages in all of professional Counter-Strike. So today I want to look at the recent tournament that Navi won and see how Bit managed to snag the MVP from some of the other names that you might expect to get it, and we'll get right into that right after a quick word from our sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by SkinsMonkey. SkinsMonkey is a site where you can trade skins that you already have to get some skins that you might want. That way you can hop into your next game with some fresh new skins. All you have to do is log into the site through Steam, put in the skins that you don't want anymore, grab the skins that you do, and then click trade. Trades happen almost immediately, and any balance that you don't use in the trade will roll over for a trade that you might do in the future. Right now you can get a free $5 if you were to use code Austin on the site, and if you were to use my code you would get an additional 5% on top of the 30% deposit bonus. So let's say if you deposit $100, that means you would get $135 if you use my code to deposit. So make sure you guys check out SkinsMonkey, and let's get right back into the video. This is going to be the third demo review that I've done of Bit, and that's not for no reason. He's probably one of the most insane players that I've ever watched, and you can learn a lot from his demos. Now, previously, when we covered his demos, we actually watched two different games versus FaZe, and in those games, I mentioned that Bit actually plays the same roles as Rops, but you don't necessarily think of Bit as that kind of player, but he is. He plays those roles. So yeah, we're just gonna watch pistol around here. Nothing too crazy goes on. I already had to restart this demo review one time, so you will get a little spoiler in the kill feed that Bit kills Monacy here in a second. But yeah, I mean, pistol rounds, the reason I don't like to cover them, people ask, it's just because I think that pistol rounds are a little bit more random, and when you're like trying to learn stuff from a demo review, I don't think you're gonna be learning anything from a pistol round. I just don't think so. Like, most of these are just random, like running accuracy, and it's a lot of silly things, so I just normally skip them for the reviews. But okay, so here we have first round here. It's going to be Force Spy versus the of course Galils on the T side. Now we're going to see Bit. He's going to play this this roof role. So in case you're curious what that is, it's basically somebody that comes up here every round, molly's top hut. If there's ever an exec, he might be dropping his utility on top of this this little thing right here. I don't know what we're calling this, but he might drop his Molotovs here or his flashes for somebody else to throw grenades. And in general, he's just going to be making execs work, holding the entire default together. You know, if he needs to be somewhere, he's going to go there. You know, if he needs to go outside, if he needs to come in lobby, he's just kind of like a flex player. And I would think that this role is really good, giving Bit the power to kind of choose where he wants to be, because he knows, you know, he's got the experience to make the decisions that the team needs him to make. You know, it also takes a little bit of stress off the IGL sometimes, because think about it, if Bit can just make some decisions for himself here, and I might be reading a little bit too much into it, sure, but if Bit can make some of the decisions without Alexi having to tell him, then that just makes Navi kind of run a little bit smoother, which is why you're seeing them consistently place top at these tournaments. I mean, you know, winning this tournament as well as winning the major, let's not forget that. So here we have an exec coming in, just like I said, and Bit's going to be throwing that flash. He's just kind of securing the round, coming in hut late. You will notice on an exec like this, I'm sorry, the radar on nuke kind of sucks, but they have the people come out door first, and the reason of that is because if somebody were to be hiding in here, because it's very common for CTs, especially on low buys like this, to hide into hut, because, well, most of the time they come out door, and you can hide in hut, kill somebody in hut, and then have lobby afterwards and have these like weird rounds. That's why Bit waits a little bit, and then he comes out once his teammates are already on site, so that way if there is somebody in hut, he can't get away because the teammates on site will trade him. Just a small detail, but you should probably, you know, be paying attention to stuff like that, because you know, it can make a big difference. If Bit goes early and there happened to be someone there, he could die, they could lose lobby, and then they can end up in a really weird 4-on-4 post plant. And honestly, I would favor G2 if that were to happen, but of course it won't, and then there's not really much else to say for this round, because Bit's just going to make his exit in towards the T spawn area, and that's going to be the round. So we're moving on to a full eco. Now there's not a lot of tactical depth to this, it's mostly just don't die. We get the top hut molly from Bit, and then he's going to just kind of hold lobby. You know, his teammates are pressuring outside, they spot Nico, and they're like, oh, that's not good, because now Ema's dead, they don't have any outside pressure. So normally this is when you're going to see the rest of the boys group up, and they need to just go somewhere. Look at Bit clearing out hut, you get tagged by the scout. Now this round's kind of getting out of hand very quickly. So whenever things like this happen on T side, right here, you might be feeling like that, okay, we already lost feeling. You know what I'm saying? You know that feeling? But what'll happen at the highest level is they still get that feeling 100%, but instead they're going to be like, okay, look, whatever we do, we have to make sure we go together now, because we can't let this get too crazy. Now, that's exactly what's going to happen. Bit is low, so they're going to go 3 outside, a little bit of like a death ball, but the idea, this is standard nuke. The idea is going outside late here is actually really strong, because typically, now I know Monacy has a scout, but typically they are going to actually have the range advantage against everybody that they're fighting. I mean, you're fighting USPs, 5.7s, Deagles, which, I mean, the Deagle could probably hit a one-tap, but I'd still favor the Galil or the AK in this situation. Take these long-range outside fights, so that way you can get down towards Secret, maybe you could wrap outside, and it's just easier. It's the highest percent chance play, because let's think if we want to go out hut. Yeah, there's somebody top hut, we're dying. We're going to go outdoor. It could be top hut again. There could be a guy mini. You're getting crossfired. You know, maybe even Mustang, a guy holding you. It's not ideal. Or if we go ramp, somebody could be boosted. Somebody could be close. Or you got maybe three ramp. You never know. So the idea is let's leave Bit in lobby. He's going to do the lurk. The Mac 10, he's low. You know, we don't want to take the Mac 10 outside anyway. It's not very good. And we're just going to go outside. So that's exactly what's going to happen. Bit's throwing a little bit of pressure. And instead of lurking lobby, which you might think is like, you know, best, Bit knows that that's actually bad, because what happens whenever T's are outside is normally the lobby crunch comes in from the CTs. This is also very standard nuke. And Bit is obviously aware of the possibility of a lobby crunch because, well, off the back of Nico dying right here, it's extremely likely for the CTs to push. And as you can see, he even wanted to leave. You know, he was getting ready to leave. He knows that lobby crunch is coming in. He's too low to hold anything. But off the back of that, I'm assuming Alexi says we're going to split A, because then he comes back into lobby here, turns around, and remember, he's anticipating a lobby crunch. So he doesn't want to go inside a lobby, because if he walks in, ramp, squeaky, hut, all of these things can be looking at him, and he's very low. He dies one shot, body shot to a USP right here. So he's going to take his time. Very patient. He's walking in. His teammates are creating chaos. He doesn't need to make a play. A lot of times people in pugs, they think that they need to make a play. If you're a new player, this is not your round to make a play in. You are the glue that holds the round together. If you die, the round is gone. You don't need to move. You don't need to make a peek. You don't need to kill anybody. You just need to live. That's all you need to do, because the threat is way higher of you alive than of you dead. There's a question mark in lobby right now, right? But if you die, that question mark is not a question mark anymore, and the rest of your team is in trouble. Sometimes you have to take a step back and say, this is not my round to make the play in. I will just wait. And that's exactly what Bit does. That's something that takes a lot of experience to do. You know, sometimes you get scared, you get afraid to make these kind of plays. You think, I need to help my team, but you don't. Not in a round like this. And eventually Bit's going to peek. He's going to find that contact. In the meantime, the boys have made their way down in towards lower, and they're going to be planting, so it doesn't really matter anymore if Bit dies. They've already secured the round, essentially. And yeah, so by allowing his teammates to just kind of cook, do whatever they need to do, they end up in a position that's really favorable for them, and because Bit never died. Seriously, and it really is that important. I mean, you need to have somebody that's a threat in lobby. I mean, if you're holding an A split from back squeaky, from in hut, without ever worrying about anything coming from lobby, it's just too strong. It's very, very powerful. I'm not really sure with this fight, by the way. I've watched this before. Yeah, it was silly. Moving on, we've got round number 4. Now, this one's going to be an A hit. Now, remember what I told you before. Bit is somewhat like the glue of these hits. He's just going to come in hut and make sure that it works. So, everybody's throwing utility, and in the meantime, he's creeping up here, making sure nobody's getting in towards lobby. Now, the reason that he's very confident, by the way, that nobody will be in hut is because it's a gun round, and during gun rounds, it's not very expected for somebody to be in hut. I mean, there's a chance that the Alper could jump into hut, but that's really risky, and I wouldn't expect G2 to make that play. Monacy's an insane player, but I wouldn't expect him to make that play, not in this round. So, here we go. He's going to flash in towards hut, just like he has been. Now, this flash is actually a lineup flash. It's kind of loose lineup, so you can just throw it the way he did. But the idea of this flash is, if anybody's top hut looking down, they get blind. Anyone close, well, I mean, I guess this kind of speaks for itself, doesn't it? Anyone in towards Mustang as well will be getting blind. Anyone jiggling from the front of sight will be getting blind. It's a very solid flash, and it allows Bit to come up here. Look at that. JL gets the kill because of Bit's flash. Here's the top hit, the top hut molly tick onto Snacks, and he's in a perfect position to take out Monacy. Now, I'm not going to lie, a lot of the heavy lifting on an execute like that is done by the people throwing the utility and the people coming outdoor, but it's important to remember that if Bit were to go down during that execute, anybody that was in the site could push into hut and live just like the round we talked before. Anyway, we've moved on to another round. We have Bit. He's thrown the top hut molly. They know they're playing against an eco, or I guess I should say a half buy with a saved gun, so Bit's just going to come out here onto top of silo, and he's going to take those fights. Now, this is a very favorable fight, and I would want someone like Bit to be taking it, just kind of having a look, seeing if Nico is fighting over, which he was there, but, you know, of course not giving him the fight. In this round, JL is actually going to be somewhat of the lobby lurk, so because of that, Bit is going to be delayed outside. They're going to have 2 lurks this round, and this is something that you see a lot of times at the highest level. Normally, you know, the theory is you just want 1 lobby lurk to kind of put pressure, but sometimes it's okay to have 2 lurks. 1 guy in lobby doing lobby lurk stuff, and then 1 guy outside. Now, this outside player can pick a lot of different spots. He could be top silo, he could be top mini, but Africa is also a really good spot. By the way, Why is the spot called Africa? I don't know. But every time I refer to this spot as Africa, everybody's like, why is it called that? I don't know. I don't know. The reason that I was told was because in CS Source or whatever, one of the old games, this place was vaguely shaped like Africa on the radar. It's still kind of vaguely shaped like that. So I don't know. It gets called that anyway. So yeah, we're moving on. And now, of course, the boys are going down towards Secret. And Bit is going to be holding on to this outside flank. Now, if you've ever watched Nico, or maybe Donk, or any outside player, maybe Rain even, what happens is a lot of time they will clear outside. And if they don't see anything, they might know that they could be down Secret, so they'll go down behind them. This happens quite a bit, and you see a lot of highlights from people doing this. But because of that, Bit is actually going to be in a position to deny that possibility. So the boys in lower are going to put some pressure, and Bit, of course, is going to be looking for that reaction, as well as JL. So they have two lurkers here. If they get a kill in lobby, or if they get a kill outside, the boys might even be able to call an audible and come up the vent. We can do an A split. A lot of things can happen off of the back of having two lurks, but either way, Bit's going to be looking. The pressure's getting applied. Bit's creeping outside back red. You know, it doesn't really matter if he dies at this point. Everybody's in position, and that's the benefit of having two lurks, is that if one of the lurks dies, you're not expecting the other one. And yeah, he's going to find that kill on Nico. He's going to keep creeping around, and you know, I mean, it's just a slow round. They want to make sure nothing bad happens. You know, we come up the vent, a bomb gets dropped, things that are bad are happening, just like we said we didn't want to have happen, and it all went wrong. Now, you might be curious how it got out of hand so quickly, and to be honest, I am too. But Modesty hit 3 crazy scout shots, and that's just something that you can't plan for. So we move on to the next round, and we got more of the same. Bit, of course, has dropped his smoke like last round. He's also mollied top hut, and coming on top of silo. You know, just the standard stuff. Like I said, he's the glue, kind of going wherever he's needed. And in this round, he's needed in towards ramp. Now, this is a really cool round. So they're just going to go for a ramp contact. Now, Bit, of course, very sharp. You might think that he just whiffed that kill, but no. There's a lot of mind games that go into this fight. Ramp is a very static spot. Bit plays ramp. Bit knows that there's only like 4 spots that you are going to play realistically. So let me rewind this, and you can really appreciate the pre-aim here. So he comes up. Now, he also plays ramp. Do you see this? Did you see that? I've skipped over it a little bit. He comes up, and he perfectly pre-aims the headshot angle, but not on top of the rail, because Mulbs knows that he's going to pre-aim the bottom where the headshot is, so he's playing on top of the rail. Personally, I've never even seen anyone play up there. That's insane. And he still almost dies. So, you know, it is what it is. Just a small detail I thought was fun. Bit, of course, calculated. Gonna throw this molly. Now, I know a lot of people don't know this. You can molly J hall, which is this hall right here, shaped like a J, where the opera always plays. You can molly that without peeking. A lot of people die throwing that molly, but you don't need to. And look at that. Now he gets ramped. Modesty reveals himself. I don't know if he needed to do that. They didn't know he was there. Gonna creep out with Wonderful. Wonderful holding J. Bit creeping up. Now, it's important to remember that ramp is not a bomb site, and we'll talk about this on CT side, but you know, Mulbs doesn't mind giving up the ramp, because at the end of the day, it's just a part of the map. Like, they still have to come down into B site to plant, and they still have to go through J to, you know, go to A if they want to. So with that being said, you'll see a lot of times whenever the T's get ramped, they will hold. They might walk back. They might try to group up and come J hall. They might group up and go lower. But the reaction for the CTs most of the time is to have somebody watching J hall and then have somebody lower. Because of that, there's going to be a gap, and then that's why the T's freeze, because they want to push and find that gap, because then it gets a little uncomfortable for the CTs. But it is still a 5v5. Is there an advantage to the T's here? Absolutely. But it doesn't mean that the CTs are just hard loss. You know, a lot of people, when they play ramp, they play and they try to get kills, and they die on ramp, and whenever you die ramp, then it's different, because then they just go B, and you know, bad news, right? But living is very important, because now they can't just run down. Mulbs will probably get a kill or 2. So the boys are going to patiently wait. You know, we get somebody in advanced position. Ima, he's going to lurk outside. He has a very good spot now. And when they go towards lower, Ima will be able to do exactly what Bit was doing last round. And that's something that you'll notice a lot on T sides at the highest level, is players are interchangeable. Every player understands how to play every role. So if something ever needs to be filled, like let's say, again, Bit was lurking outside last round. JL was lurking lobby. Now this time, Ima's lurking outside. Anybody can do it. They all have experience doing it, and they know that it's all possible. I don't know. I've never seen that glitch before. The glass is it's broken, but it's not broken in the game. Interesting. Now, Bit is a ramp player himself, so he knows that since the glass isn't broken, it's very unlikely that Mulbs made it off the site, because, well, let's be honest, when Mulbs was running down, he didn't have a lot of time, and he's probably picking a spot like in dark, Astralis, maybe the new box, maybe he's playing clock. And so Bit is patiently waiting, checking all of these spots. He knows. Now, to be clear, Mulbs could have opened the door. It could have been open already. He could have escaped, but they never heard the door. So they're just expecting him to be on site. They're patiently waiting. And look at the way they're doing this. They're staying away from the spots that would get them killed. They're staying away from dark. They're not going above dark, because if you get the kill here, then it's easy for mobs to get too. They're staying away from the multi-kill spots. And it looks silly because they're quite literally on top of him. But they are pretty aware that he could be there. Maybe not necessarily this angle. They might be expecting him to be in the corner. But yeah, so we'll just let this round play out from this perspective, because I think it gives a lot more insight as to what's going on. They're very aware that he could be there, and JL unfortunately will be the one that finds him. But off the back of that, Bit of course drops down, kills him, and then the bomb can go down. And the rest of the round is going to play from here. It's going to get a little weird. So Bit's gonna break the glass. He wants to fake that they could be in there. B site post plans are very chaotic, especially when you don't know where they can be. Because of the position of our teammates, they could literally be anywhere. I mean, we never cleared down here. They could be double, they could be in control. You know, there could have been a guy down here other than Mulbs, right? There's a big question mark. And since the boys are upstairs doing work, you know, they're lurking and whatnot, there's a really big question mark on where anybody could be. So unfortunately, Bit will end up going down here, as well as Wonderful. Nico gets a nice double kill, and like I already said, they know where Ima is. He already got a kill, so it's not going to be looking good for him, and actually G2 will win the round, and we're moving on to the next. Now, that round was very chaotic, but the next round is going to be back to normalcy. We got the outside smokes, the normal outside smokes from CSGO, and you know, he's going to jump up here again. He's going to molly towards top hut, all of the same, coming towards silo. As you can see, there's a little bit of a pattern with the way that he's doing things, checking towards top roof. This time, however, he will be on top of Mini. Now, this is the more standard outside lurk stuff that I talked about. We've already had JL trying to get down the vent. He's gone down, but it's actually a ruse. I just want to point this out on the radar. JL goes down trying to go down vent, and then Alexi is actually able to finish the job, but unfortunately they were planning for that. Well played from G2. In the meantime, of course, we have the other guys coming down secret, and Bit's in a position to kind of hold for them. Not necessarily looking good for Navi here, but it could still be winnable as long as the trades in secret go well. And you see Bit just kind of patiently waiting. He knows, again, this is one of those times when it's not his turn to make the play yet. He's just securing everything, making sure that nobody's getting flanked, looking for someone to overextend in CT. Now, there's a trade in towards secret, and I think they might have lost track of Bit here until he makes noise. So he's going to drop in towards hut because his teammate's coming back with him. They're going to walk around. They want to make sure that they... well, I mean, they could go anywhere. They don't want to just walk into something together. They want to see if they can find something. Maybe a gap, maybe a timing. And that's exactly what we're going to find. We're going to get in towards heaven here. They have split up. Ima throws a little bit of utility, trying to bait for the fact that they might be both coming mini. Monacy falls for it, and Bit is in the perfect position. Now he can hold vent, he can hold heaven, and the bomb can go down pretty straightforward. Both of the players revealed themselves there, but I don't think that they actually saw it. It was kind of hard to catch. And they're coming up the vent. Of course, Bit's just dodging flashes, making sure nobody comes in towards heaven. And it's going to be a one-on-one snacks. You know, he tries to go for the top hut thing. They lost track of Bit. They never really knew where he was. And that's going to be a perfect round. They pulled that back. And that's just off the back of that lurk. Now, you might not think it's that important, and maybe you may not even think Bit is a baiter for sitting top mini for so long, but the reason that he's doing that is because it's going to allow all the rotates to come in. They spot somebody's secret, they kill people going vent. Yeah, surely Bit's just with them. Nope. Bit's actually on his own, just like he always is, and he's making his way towards heaven, and they just completely lose track of him. And you might think, how could they do that? I mean, if he's doing this all the time, how can they lose track? It's because in the context of the round, it actually doesn't look like Bit should be there. You have two people trying to drop vent. Where will Bit be? We have two people down secret. Surely they sent 3 secret, right? It would only make sense. Maybe he's ramp. I don't know. They completely lose track. And that's exactly it. It's a perfect round from Bit, and he's going to clutch the round for his team, which is, you know, very important because it ruins the money of G2. They're in a bad... I don't even know what this buy is. They have M4s with no utility on nuke. I don't know what the plan is. And because of that, we see more of the same. Just more standard lobby stuff. We know that they don't have an op because the money's bad. And because they don't have an op, we're just going to challenge ramp. Why not, right? So Bit's going to come here. And he gets dropped a second molly from his teammate. Remember, he mollied top hut, so he gets dropped a molly. Going to creep around here. Gets that flash thrown. Check in. Don't see anything. We're going to molly J-Hall. We're even going to molly back orange box here. Monacy gets completely mollied out, and he will end up going down to Wonderful. And look at that. So this is just perfect little ramp hit here. But remember, Monacy is not the ramp player. He's not the ramp player, is he? So because of name tagging, name plating, I should say. Sorry, because of name plating, we know that Mulbs is somewhere. And if Monacy starts ramp, then there's a pretty good chance that Mulbs is lower. They're going to keep that in mind before they make the next decision. Just kind of patiently waiting, letting G2 outplay themselves there is what I would call that. You know, they know we're hiding ramp here. We're just going to chill. We're gonna let G2 push some. We're gonna let them get bad info, good info, whatever. We're gonna let them outplay themselves, and then we're just gonna go ramp, right? It looks like we should be going ramp 100%, but we're just gonna wait and then go ramp. Make it look like we're doing something, but we're actually just delayed going ramp. And because of that, that's exactly what's gonna happen. Mulbs, he's gonna rotate out of the site, and yeah, round's just gonna go the way of Navi. Four-man save for G2. I like that, you know, just a little mind game. Let the other team outplay themselves. They think we're going ramp, so let's pause and then go ramp. It's beautiful. And look, Mulbs is in T-spawn. He was B a few minutes ago, but now T-spawn. A beautiful round from Navi. I love everything about this. Got another round here. It was just the same. He mollies top hut, jumps silo, then he jumps down, and we're going to do a lobby hit. Now, what's important to note is you are missing a minute of context. They threw outside smokes. Ema has made his way towards secret, and they made a lot of noise, and now they're just waiting for the lobby crunch from the CTs. It never comes in, so the A hit is about to happen. Now, of course, Ema will be the lurker. He's going to try to catch somebody rotating out of garage, maybe Nico. He's going to come in mini late, kill anybody coming up secret. A lot of things that Ema can do as the outside lurker here. But again, Bit, he's just going to be doing the same thing he has been, flashing in towards hut, you know, making sure that everything goes well. HUD is clear, and you know, he gets the info, one back site, there's one mini, they know that. They still need to kind of make this happen. Ema's creeping outside, by the way, and it's important to note Nico's even aware of that. He's not overextending. Bit has gone down in the meantime, but still, look at that. The awareness from Nico. He just sits and he waits. He knows that there could be a lurker. That's another crazy play from Nico. And by the way, Nico's been on a heater recently, so if you guys want a Nico demo review, let me know in the comments below. I already have done one, but it's from the major, so if you guys want a more updated one, let me know. He's been playing out of his mind recently. Yeah, so we're going to have another round here. It's going to be a kind of half buy. They're going to go for an A pop, or sorry, an A rush. Bit's going to tank that molly, come through hut, and he's actually going to take the perfect pathing to catch off Hunter here. Gets that kill, almost gets the kill onto Snacks, but he won't, and unfortunately JL's about to die. But look at that pathing. So he flashes out hut, he comes through hut, scales up this wall, and then comes back to catch the heaven fight, and then he comes around and dies. But the reason he takes this path is because he wants to be able to make sure the top hut guy doesn't see him that well. He also wants to make sure the heaven guy who normally fights towards door doesn't see him. Perfect pathing from him. He finds his kill, but they don't win the round. I know we kind of threw ourselves into that A rush, but that's how it feels sometimes when you're playing this map. You're just like, all of a sudden you're like, wait, we're running A, oh my god. And yeah, so because of that, we're going to have a save round, but of course they're going to give Bit the hero AK, and the reason they're doing this is because, well, I mean, Bit is, he's him, right? He's going to be able to open up the round with the AK. Again, remember, I brought up the headshot percentage earlier, but that's because he really is a machine. He just gets headshots. I don't know how to explain it. In a round like this, by the way, let me just give you a little bit more context. You want to let Bit make the decisions, right? I don't want to give you an AK and then tell you what to do. No, I want to give Bit the AK and say, Bit, what do you want to do? Because whatever he wants to do is what he's feeling, and he'll be able to organize a play around himself, right? You know, and so he's like, oh, hey, Mulbs is doing this probably. I know because I'm also a ramp player, and this looks like this play. So, hey guys, can we group up? Can you get ready to flash me? And let's go. I'm going to bait the Glock, and I'm going to get this kill onto the Mulbs guy. And that's exactly what happens, right? So JL is going to get the kill. Bit's just overwatch with the AK. He wants to make sure if anybody extends, or overextends, I should say, that Bit's going to punish him with that AK. He has not revealed that he has it yet, by the way. This is another thing. You think like, oh, whatever, like, yeah, they know. No, they don't. He hasn't shot a bullet yet, and he's also not been spotted yet, and that's all on purpose. It's a surprise, a very, very mean surprise for G2 if they were to ever walk into Bit. They're gonna get an AK, and they're not expecting that. I mean, now they know he has an M4, but again, you know, they have two guns. They have two guns, so that's something that they're not expecting. Bit's gonna eat a nade, by the way. Wants to trade his teammate here, and he will. Look at that clean headshot, doubles down as well to get the bomb planted. And now he did bait his teammate, but he baited him on purpose because, of course, he only had the no armor with a Tech 9, so of course he's gonna bait him. And there you go, Nico again playing super solid, shut them down. But another really good round, and the idea is so clean. Let Bit have the hero AK, let him bait a little bit, see if we can get some kills. Because at the end of the day, they do want to win the round, but more importantly, they want to damage money from G2 if they can, as well as get a plant just so that they can have everything that they want going into that final round, and that's exactly what happens. So overall, not a bad round, and I just really love the way that Bit plays. I think it's so smart, and he's so sharp too. He really is just like Rops, and I feel like people don't give him enough credit for that. Last round of the half here. Bit's not gonna molly top hut this round. Not sure if he forgot or if he just wanted to go quick. He almost catches Nico running into secret there, and now they have a little bit of info. So off the back of that, they are going to just creep outside. Bit's gonna go with them this time. They have two people in lobby still. Bit has made his way down in towards secret, and he has made noise. I'm not really sure why he's secret. This is the first time I've seen this game. And we have Wonderful on a lobby lurk, which, I mean, he's the Opera, so this is really, really weird. And Bit's just gonna do standard secret stuff. Remember, all the players are interchangeable at the end of the day. They all know how to play this. And what a crazy setup from Nico and Hunter, by the way. Look at this. This is just fantastic. I know we're doing a Bit demo review, but just look at this. This is crazy. Look at this. Nico is in towards vent. Now he sees this standard molly. Now he could just peek, but instead, he's gonna actually let his cousin hold secret and spot. And as soon as Hunter spots somebody, then Nico's gonna peek. Now remember, they don't expect two people in towards secret, and Hunter takes his shot. He doesn't get the kill, but it doesn't matter. He's already done enough because look at all three of these players. They're all three looking at Hunter. That's 3 free kills if you're Nico, and 1, 2, and almost a third, but Hunter will actually take that kill from him. But wow, what a beautiful setup in secret, by the way. And they're only allowed to do this because they didn't put enough pressure on ramp, and they still have 2 people A, and they don't really care about leaving the outside gap. Monocy's kind of spotting it, so they know they're not really gonna come in mini. So Snacks is kind of soloing A right now. Beautiful setup, and they get completely shut down. So let's go ahead and go on to CT side. It's been a really long time since my last really long demo review, so I hope you guys are enjoying this one. And we're gonna go on to pistol round. You guys know already what we're doing. We're skipping the pistol round. We got the first round here that really matters, and it's gonna be the pistol one from Navi, so they have more money. Remember, Bit is the ramp player, so he's gonna start this round by smoking off, doing what he normally does, making sure nobody walks through. And after he's secured that end, and by the way, very, very cheeky, made a step. Then he's going to get boosted up by his extra player here, and he's just going to tell him to leave. Hey, goodbye, Alexi, and I'm going to hold ramp, and that's exactly what's going to happen. And by the way, what a detail. Make a little step there for that guy close. Just, hey, I'm close. I'm not boosted. And then he gets boosted anyway. It's a small detail. It only works at the highest level probably, but it's nice. So gets that extra smoke thrown, and everything's coming in. That molly is really cool from the tees, and yeah, he doesn't ever get spotted. They don't come ramp, and he's going to be on that quick lobby flank. And look at this, he's already behind them. They're not expecting him in this 3v2. They know the vent's not broken. He knows they're close. 2 clean kills. Very well played from Bit. Going on to the next round here, it's going to be versus a full eco, and luckily for us, we don't really care that much, so we can skip this round. We're saving time in this review. We really are. Now we've got another round. This is going to be the first gun round, and Bit has a Galil, which is effectively like an M4 if you think about it. I mean, it does the same, headshot. It does what the Dink does, like 80, and then it takes 2 bullets to kill. So I mean, it's basically like an M4 with more bullets. So we get that smoke plus that nade, which allows Bit to sneak in towards trophy room here. Now, this is something that RAM players are doing. They're throwing that smoke, then the nade afterwards, and they're kind of just conditioning the other team to expect that. You're not really expecting him to push off the back of this, is what I'm trying to get at. This is a game-to-game thing. This is not a singular, this game only thing, but based on the way that all ramp players play, it's meta to smoke and then nade into it in case somebody is coming up quick, but it's also meta to do that so you can nade the smoke as soon as it pops so you can push. That's just meta in general, and because of that, Bit knows that that's what they're expecting. And since Bit doesn't really have a good gun, this is a bonus round, if you will, because they still have the MP9 on JL, and they also have the Galil. They want to do something kind of aggressive, and this is a really good idea. They've actually set up for an entire lobby crunch, which if you haven't been paying attention, that's exactly why JL is in HUD. That's why Alexi's doubled ramp. They're doing a lobby crunch here. What's going to happen? We're creeping in lobby. We've cleared it. We've fully cleared it. Oh my goodness. We have all of lobby. How could we get so lucky? How could we have this situation? I mean, look, we have full lobby. The CTs are up. They're eating good right now. And they know that nobody's down secret. They know exactly where all of the Ts are. They know. They know. They've completely shut them out of this round. It's going to take it's going to take a miracle for G2 to get back into this. And so we'll fast forward a little bit. They end up conceding a little bit of space in return for a kill. And they let them back into lobby. But Bit's still pushed up. And they're going to end up going out A. Wonderful's going to shut him down. Bit's still close. He gets that last kill. What a beautiful round. And again, this is all because it's a bonus round. They want to go for an aggressive play with that MP9 with the Galil. Yeah, if we lose this round, that sucks, but also we have another buy. What else are we going to do with the Galil? Do we want to let the Galil hold ramp on the headshot angle? He's just going to lose the fight to an AK. Do we want this MP9 to be fighting outside? Not really. So let's just go for a lobby crunch. It's a gamble, but if it works, we're winning. And that's exactly what's happening. Look, it's 10-6, and look at the money. They're just winning. And that's the kind of plays that you need to make at the highest level. It's fantastic. Okay, so here we go. We get the upgrade on to Bit. Now he has an AK. He's gonna smoke off the ramp just like he has been every round. He's smoked before, both rounds we've already watched, and he's gonna play patient. He knows, by the way, look at this. This is another small detail. He's playing J-Hall. Why? Well, because J-Hall is a good angle. Yeah, it's good, but he's also playing that because he knows, look at what they have. He knows that he only can really die if he plays close. Tech 9 swarm him, P250s swarm him, anything like that, right? So he's playing J-Hall. He said, yeah, I mean, I might get dinked, but I can get a couple of nice kills. I can leave. That's the most important thing. I can leave. I'm safe in J-Hall. I can run away to CT. My teammates are here. If I'm on the ramp, I can leave, but I'm still going to be on my own at the end of the day. I mean, I have places to hide in lower, but I'm still on my own. So that's why he's staying in towards J-Hall. He doesn't want to let them get the kill onto him, let him get the gun. And eventually, he's going to shift in once he gets a little bit more confidence. The round's kind of falling apart. Now he just needs to have an off angle for one kill. It's kind of changed a little bit. And yeah, look at that. I mean, there's not even anything really crazy going on in this round, but there's still so much you can learn. That's why it's important for you guys to watch demos. And I know a lot of you guys don't watch your own demos, so that I like talking and yapping. So I like doing these demo reviews to kind of give the information that you should be learning. And also it helps me too. I mean, look, I'm still competing too, so it's nice for me to watch these things and get reminded of a couple of concepts I forgot. Anyway, so we have another round. You might have noticed that what the ramp player typically does, I know I skipped it, but the ramp player is actually going to drop his molly, especially since it's a T-molly towards the outside players, because what does he really need this molly for outside? He doesn't. So he's going to start with a flash this time. Now, he is only doing that just to switch things up. He doesn't want to give the same look every time. I mean, think about it. Like, if I smoke every time, they can make a plan around that, right? Like, okay, guys, Bit always smokes, so we can nade the smoke and go together because he always smokes. So that's why this time he's going to flash. Just keeping them on their toes. He could throw a later smoke, kind of mess with the timings. And, yeah, so we see that they're doing fast outside control. They're taking these fights. They're just kind of getting owned by Alexi. And because of that, Bit knows, because... and this is really why he's smoking. You're like, what? Why would he smoke ramp if they're fighting outside? It's because, remember, Bit is a lobby lurker too, and he knows that pretty much the only way the lobby lurker gets kills is whenever there's chaos happening outside, the lobby lurker can step out of maybe ramp or maybe hut or squeaky and catch somebody who's not expecting that person because they need to rotate. Like, think about the comms. Outside, flash, I'm peeking. Oh, I need help. Rotate. And then in the meantime, Bit's just kind of like, should I rotate? Oh, he walked out ramp, and that's exactly what you don't want to have happen. Even at the highest level, even though you might be expecting the lurker, it can still happen with comms getting crazy, right? So he smokes off ramp. He's leaning towards J-Hall. Like, do I need to rotate? I don't think so. I might just go lower, right? I'm making noise. And it's, again, one of those things. You make noise. Well, why would I make noise? I don't want to let that lobby lurk know. Well, yeah, but the idea goes back to what we talked about in the demo review we just did the other day with Donk. You have somebody making noise in an obvious position. Well, he just left ramp, and if there was somebody lurking lobby, they would just hear him. Yeah, so what? Is he really? It's 11 to 6. Is he really just going to say, yeah, there's nobody else here? What if Bit's baiting for somebody holding the smoke? What if somebody rotated in? What if he did, and you just walk through the smoke and die? What if Bit's faking footsteps, and you just walk through? He won't do it. He won't. He just won't. It's not going to happen. There's no gap to take. He won't do it. So he just makes noise. I can do whatever I want. Hey guys, by the way, ramp is open, just so you know. That's all you have to do. Wow. And this is stuff that only works at the highest level, but it's just insane to see. And there you go. The round is over. The round is just over. Clean as you like. And I think this is the final round here. Bit's going to do the same. He's going to start with that smoke. And look at him playing behind the smoke. He hasn't done this yet. Kind of looking to see if anyone's there. Doesn't see anything, of course. He's going to back up. Picks this angle. I love that off angle. Molly is after. Flash is just kind of keeping that pressure, letting them know, hey, by the way, I'm fighting ramp. Because I'm throwing all this utility, I could be pushing. And it feels really uncomfortable if you're Navi. I mean, sorry, if you're G2 here, because you're like, dude, is this ramp player pushing us? Like, we're trying to set up this execute. Like, is he going to come here? Like, they have to be worried about it. And in the meantime, the hit's going to come in. JL's going to shut him down. It's a 3-on-2, but I mean, it's probably under control. We have a lobby lurk. Monocy's low. The only way that they could lose this is if somebody just stomps around and gives away a kill, which will never happen. I mean, not at the highest level. Very, very rarely do pros make mistakes like that. And Bit, calculated as ever, just like I always say, one of the most calculated players in the game, waits for his teammates to take contact, and then he pounces. Snacks, unfortunately, never had a chance in this clutch, and Bit will secure the game for his team. Look at the scoreline, 17-8, very good game from him, and they will go on to win this tournament, as well as Bit securing the MVP. So if you guys did enjoy this demo review, make sure you guys let me know. Make sure you guys sub to the channel as well if you watched all the way. I really appreciate the support, and that's it. Let me know who you want to watch next. There's a couple of tournaments coming up, so I'm going to keep an eye out. I do want to do a Nico demo review. I'm even going to do a demo review of myself. I know, right? That'll be interesting. So hopefully you guys are ready for that. And that's all I got today. So yeah. Bye-bye.